Hey, Toon Army. Wondering what our lineup's going to be? Want to know who's available and who's hurt? Do you want an in-depth analysis of what to expect from the upcoming match? Then don't sweat it, because you're in the right place. It's time for the Toon Review's Match Preview Show. Enjoy.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first of a double-header tonight on the Toon Review YouTube channel. First off tonight is, of course, Tottenham Hotspur against Newcastle United match preview, which will be about 40-45 minutes long. We'll then take an interlude for whatever you want to do, and then we'll be back with TTR Friday at 8 o'clock, so get ready for some good laughs. Billy has something special planned for St. Orient. I'm crap at it because I get myself.
You're not crap at it. You just let it beat you, and you shouldn't.
All right. Well, good evening to you, Danielle. Jesus Christ.
I hope you've all been if you've been
ready.
Clearly.
Revising your Saints, you went for a bit of a shock this week.
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to that, shall we? With bated breath. Now, Newcastle United, of course, travelled to Tottenham on Sunday to face Conte's team, and we go down there full of confidence, full of life, full of freshness, and Eddie Howe basically gave nothing away again in his press conference, absolutely nothing, but again had to defend questions regarding Newcastle United's World Cup trip to Saudi Arabia. I have done a video on that if you want to go back and watch that later on tonight. But listen, he said it was for football and matters. It's a footballing decision. Of course it is, but there's also, anybody that's owned by somebody from a country will want to visit that country to promote the product. And the product is Newcastle United. It's as simple as that. And Newcastle are going out there, to promote themselves and Saudi to promote Newcastle United and just become that world-renowned name that, we're going to be in a couple of years anyway. But we're going out there for promotion purposes. We're playing Al Hilal of course, in another friendly, so that should be an interesting game. And it gets the guys out there, warm weather training, etc. Keeping them fresh for when the season kicks off straight after the World Cup. There's no break, so they've got to be ready to go. And what's the point of sitting on their asses for 4 or 5 weeks, just training every day? It doesn't work, and they've got to be ready to go. We'll get some comments before we get going. The little fella says, evening all at Toon Review. I think this will be a tough game, but still got back-to-back. But still got to back the Mighty Mags. 2-1 win, Miggy and Bruno to score. Good evening, Tom. Michael, good evening to you. Solo, there's his team prediction. Interesting. A few names in there added to the side.
No.
I thought, there's one name in there that stands out a mile, which is why Danielle's no one. Keith, good evening. Gary, good evening to you. The usual rules as well for tonight's show. Keep comments respectful. No duplicate posts, caps lock, that kind of thing. John says he can't wait for TTR. Good, neither can we. Samsonite, good evening. Pedro says, good evening, everybody. Hope you're all feeling great. Superb channel. Keep up the good work, and subs grown. They are, yes. So please do hit that subscribe button if you're new. Keep them coming. Keep them rolling. Because we're, 15K would be an incredible achievement. It really would. Jody Rick, good evening, everybody. Hope you all have a good night. Carl, evening, everyone. Amazing. Every manager we were linked with last year, Villa are now linked with. Yeah, of course. I've seen many retweets today, from Villa fans' quotes back when Steven Gerrard was, of course, given the job at Aston Villa, which he now isn't a manager of Aston Villa anymore, about how we, including some big reporters, journalists saying how we missed a trick not getting Steven Gerrard, etc. And we had to settle for Eddie Howe. How's that turned out?
Shout out to Villa Watch for being an absolute parody of themselves. Like,
Absolutely.
Literally, they're an absolute joke, that Twitter account. I've got no idea. Saying they're going to get Pochettino, or have we
Pochettino's not going to go to Villa.
But I can name and shame it as well. It was Martin Samuel. Martin Samuel for the Daily Mail.
That's him.
Steven Gerrard is ideal for Aston Villa. He gives them more clout, and he can be a game changer. Newcastle missed a trick. He could have been theirs had they been bold. Martin Samuel.
He's the same guy who did the article last week, who was a ghostwriter for Karen Brady, who wrote the story about Newcastle being referred to as useful idiots in from the Premier League top 6.
Yeah, indeed.
So, getting his
good writer, but you need to actually have the knowledge before you do the writing.
Yeah, look, it's not worked out for them, has it? All these people, and you know, what made me laugh was like Bonlahor still saying, you know, all these massive names are linked because we're a massive pull. He's deluded. He's a little deluded little tree stump. He really is. He's an idiot. And you know, Villa are in the shit because you know they're in the mire at the minute. There's no doubt about that. And
I think they're 1 point above the drop zone, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. So they've got a lot of work to do. Whoever comes in as manager.
Yes, Steve Bruce is free.
Well, he is. I mean,
they're joint. They're actually level with Wolverhampton in 18th. So they're above the drop zone, but only on goal difference. Oh no, goal difference.
If
they're out of the relegation zone on alphabetical order because they've got the same goal difference as Wolverhampton.
Yeah, indeed. It's crazy.
And they're linked with all these players that we were after, and they bought a few that we were linked with, and it's the same with the managers. Well, Villa fans, Villa board, if you're watching, you know, Scott Parker was linked last year at one point. In my imagination, he could be the man for you.
Did somebody just mention Perch in a comment?
Yes, we'll quickly brush over that, Alex. Because,
I didn't see it.
Well, he agreed with me basically about Percino. So, yeah. There was a few comments left after last night's show about Pacino, and you got quite hammered.
Oh, really? I'll go and respond to all of them. Don't you worry about that.
I've deleted most of them. I haven't really, but I just I find it quite funny. Barbara, good evening to you. Spike, good evening. David, good evening to you. James says, I would love it, absolutely love it if we beat Tottenham. I think everybody would love it. Predictions, let's be honest. It's Spurs away, so 7-0 to the Toon. That's confidence right there. That's right there. Zishan, thank you for your £4.49 super chat. He says, hi guys, I was a bit naughty today. I was wondering where this was going, but I've seen the rest of it. So it's I thought it might have been a comment for TTR Friday, but it's not.
PG?
It's fine. Was on a Villa YouTube channel and was giving some manager names to them. They threw me off the channel.
Oh, BBs.
Zishan,
honestly, you can't take the banter.
Zishan, legendary status goes
well
to you
done
tonight, my friend, for doing that. Absolutely.
I believe that's comment of the week, guys, so save that for later.
Could well be. Absolutely. Peter, good evening, everyone. Praying for a big win on Sunday. Paul says, evening, everyone, and the mods. Interesting game against Spurs, who haven't been their best of late. If we get a draw, I'll be happy, but we could easily sneak a 2-1 win if we are on it. Like a car bonnet. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's pathetic. James says, Spurs aren't playing well, so I favour 3 points down in London on Sunday. Matt says, another early start down under. Good morning to you, Matt.
Good morning.
Indeed. Pedro's going for a 1-1 draw with Chris Wood to score. Have you drowned in your Weetabix? That's a terrible prediction. Paul, I take a draw, but I think we'll get all 3 points. So do I, Gary. I have a sneaky suspicion. Good evening, Mason. Renier's in the house. Dave, good evening. Andy says they've lost their last 10 home matches. They've won all their last 10 home matches. Due a loss. How are the lads? Yeah, but they've been crap, to be honest.
They're just, I think they're just dead boring, aren't they, to watch?
They're terrible to watch. I mean, Conte's football is boring. Yeah, it is.
I know. I had to sit through their first leg against Frankfurt. I regret watching that. It was awful.
It was poor, very poor. Another £5 super chat in from Up the A1. Thank you very much. Mugs on order, indeed. Susan was picking we've had a bit of a dodge pot with the website, so orders will be going out soon. Don't you worry about that. Mark, good evening. Will says, Alex, who do you think we can realistically get in January besides Maddison? Well, that's for another day, matey. We will be doing another transfer show very soon. So
and we're not in the know.
Well, clearly we're not in the know.
Disclaimer.
Absolutely not. Definitely not. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5 super chat. He says, I'm a bit nervous about Sunday. I would settle for a point. Look, I think Eddie would be happy coming away with something from the game on Sunday. Mike says, watch Share go over the top of Kane when competing for a header and Kane ducks, causing Share's 1035th head knock.
I mean, it's quite possible, isn't it? I mean,
look, he does my head in when he does that. It's dangerous. It should be illegal, and he should be booked or sent off for it because it's a deliberate attempt to hurt. Ryan says Conte is going to stink up White Hart Lane or whatever it's called, and our defense is the best it's been since Benitez. I'm sticking with 0-0.
Fair.
Mitch says, how much do you think a Conte wig sets you back? Very interesting question. Anyway, I've got my stats for you for the game. For the do me homework now for these shows, believe it or not. Despite the fact that what the hell?
Excitement.
Well, if that's your excited face, I'm worried about you, Billy.
I can't show you the rest of me, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Too early, Billy.
It is, yeah.
Right, Newcastle against Spurs, all-time record. So this includes FA Cup, all divisions. It's the historical record against Tottenham. We've played them 166 times altogether in all competitions. Spurs have won 73 of those games. Newcastle have won 59, and we have drawn 34 in total. Now, the last Premier League match that we played down there was, of course, Spurs 5, Newcastle United 1. Fabian Schär putting us in the lead with a brilliant free kick, and then we capitulated, simply capitulated. So we hope that doesn't happen again, and quite frankly, I don't think it will happen again because we are in a much, much better place and position, and morale is very different to what it was, and we don't capitulate anymore. Now, the last Premier League win for Newcastle down at the new White Hart Lane, can anybody remember when that was?
Nah.
Same day as Brent Stokes destroyed the Australians, I believe. It was a Sunday. I can't remember the date, but it was about September time, maybe late August. Joe Linton goal.
It was the 25th of August, 2019. Joe Linton on 27
well done,
minutes.
Billy Trey.
Spurs 0, Newcastle United 1. Of course, Joe Linton's first. I think it was his first game for us as number 9, wasn't it? And he went out and smashed in the winner, and it all went downhill from there. Under the head of Cabbage. Another super chat's come in. Chris Murray, thank you very much, buddy. Really kind. My good old ex-ice hockey mate there from Whitley Bay, now living the life of luxury in good old US of A. Thank you for your $9.99 super chat, buddy. That is really kind of you. And I hope you're well out there and living the good life. Now, the Premier League all-time record between the two sides is rather close. We've played 54 times against Tottenham in the Premier League. Spurs have won 24 of those games. We've won 22 of the games, with 8 being drawn. And the goals as well. Spurs have scored 86. Newcastle have scored 81. So it is very close. Now, I'm not saying that we are going to go down there and turn them over quite easily. I think it'd be a very, very tough game on Sunday, but it's one of those games that I do believe we can get something out of, Danielle.
Yeah, I think so. I think, our defence is really great. I think they don't create a lot, Spurs, but the problem that what we have is that when they do, they put the ball in the back of the net, don't they? So I think we need to be careful in that sense. But I think, it's not the Newcastle United of older days. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're great. We're exciting to watch. We're certainly not. Our football cannot be described as boring. So I'm hoping for a good game, and I think it'll be tough. And I'm not going to go mental with my prediction this week. I'm
sorry.
Respect Spurs slightly more than I've respected, Manchester United and the rest of that tribe. But yeah, I think it'll be a difficult game, but I'm confident.
Indeed. Spike Milligan, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says, going off page here, anyone heard anything about Iran being banned from the World Cup for breaking FIFA rules and regulations? I got a tweet or a message earlier on today about that, but I haven't seen anything. The best person to comment on that would be, of course, our Middle Eastern correspondent, Mr. Roy Caviani. So, Roy, if you're in the house, can you let us know what's going on, man? We'll... if you know what's going on, we might bring you on for 10 minutes if you can get on the show. So let us know if you're in the chat. Ken, good evening to you. He says, evening all, Toon Review. Really looking forward to Sunday. And I can really see 2-0 to the Toon with Wilson and Miggy again. I'd love to see Miggy score again. Brendan McCoy, thank you for your £10 super chat. There's no comment there, but thank you for your support of the channel. We really do appreciate that, mate. Mary, good evening to you. Sorry I'm late. Hope you're all well. Yep, definitely. Barbara says, I hear Steve Bruce is the favourite for the job at
I'd
Villa.
love to see it.
Laugh
I'd
my
love
arse
to
off
see
if
it.
Can you imagine the reappointed Steve Bruce?
I mean, we'd have to have a buffet, wouldn't we?
Oh God, the comedy value of that would simply be incredible. It really would.
I mean, who's around realistically at the moment? Sean Dyche is still going. Bruce.
See, he would be the option for me.
Yeah, they wouldn't like that though, would they? They want to play expansive football. They want to try and challenge. They've brought in a lot of technical players. So I don't think the fans would be happy with that appointment.
Why shouldn't Sean Dyche deserve a chance? You know, he was on a limited budget at Burnley, didn't always have the best players in the world, but he got the best
football,
out
isn't it?
Yeah, it's the style of football.
But he might play a different style if he has better players. We don't know that until he's given the opportunity.
That's very true.
But let's be real. It doesn't matter who goes there. I hope they fail. So
absolutely,
I don't care.
But I hope it's.
I think it'll be Rafa. I think it'll be Rafa with Spurs.
Yeah, Rafa's been mentioned a few times as well.
Oh,
yeah.
God, no.
Mike says Ancelotti is leaving Real Madrid to go to Villa.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah. Ryan says, I'm sorry, but journalism is a badly corrupt occupation where it's all about clout, popularity, and clickbait. It seems to be these days.
Very profound, Brian. Very profound.
Indeed. Billy, what's your thoughts on Sunday? Because, you know, we're questioning whether he's going to make any changes. And, of course, you know, we don't know that. I have a feeling the way he spoke about Joe Linton in his press conference, I don't think we'll see Joe. I don't think there's no need to take a risk on him, to be honest. If he's not fit, don't play him. You know, Shelvey's available. I mean, will we see a bit of Shelvey?
I think we will see a bit of Shelvey, actually. I think we'll see half an hour towards the end of the game. So he's had 2 weeks on the bench now, so surely he's kind of ready to get on there and do a bit. But I think we will see a few changes. And as the game goes, I think it's all about how we deal with Harry Kane. If he drops deep, like he did last year, he tore us apart last season in the second half by dropping deep and playing as a kind of a 10, really, wasn't he? Maybe even deeper there at times. But if we can kind of deal with that, I think we can get something out of the game. But it's not going to be easy because I think Spurs, for all the fact they've been crap this year, they've got some cracking players and they're very tough in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
very tough in the middle of the park.
Yes.
But we also have some cracking defenders. So it'd be very interesting to see how we go.
Well, it depends which defenders he puts out, though. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Andy says Liz Truss is available for Villa. She is, yeah.
I don't think Prince William would allow that.
No, neither do I. Tim says I'll be there on Sunday. Buzzing to see us put up a great fight and take a point. Get on the Toon. Cruz Scott says watching and supporting from Canada. Another Canadian. There you go. Good evening, Cruz. Geordie Rick says can't Villa get Boris and save the rest of us? Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah. Big Frank says, hi guys at Toon Review. I'm going for a 1-1, but would love a win. I'm not sure what that profile picture is, but Jesus. Samsonite Dove says, also Villa's schedule for the rest of the year shows they can only realistically hope for maybe 1 point in the next 6 games. Yep, they're struggling big style. Paul Tully says, I see NUFC socials have posted images of the guys in training with Big Joe. Maybe okay after all. Yeah, look, I've seen him in training. Eddie says he took a knock to the knee. I mean, you know, it was his thigh that was strapped up. So maybe he is fit. Who knows? Maybe he is.
It's just whether he's willing to take that risk on him. It depends how he feels on the day. Because he said in the press conference, didn't he, that sometimes the injuries are different, you know, later on. So he might have come in today and said, actually, I feel a bit better than I did.
Well, it was an impact injury, wasn't it, Danielle? He said he took a knock to the knee. So, you know, impact injuries can either last ages or they can disappear by the next day. So
I think they'll just see how he feels on the day, maybe, and see.
Yeah, let's hope so. Pizza delivered. Toon Review for entertainment. Looks like a good start of the weekend. There isn't anything better than that. Perfect start. Alex, where do you stand going into the game? Are you possibly thinking of changes?
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it? Because there's been 2 unchanged lineups. It must be, unless he's going to throw a third curveball and keep it unchanged, which wouldn't shock me. But I generally expect there to be changes. and I do expect it to be a tough game. Although we do have something on our side. I mean, we'll look at graphics later, but they had a midweek game, and they also have a European fixture in 3 days' time. So they have something else to consider as well. So they, are they going to play their full strength? You don't know. They're at home. They might. It depends whether we get respected fully. He might play a certain lineup thinking that we're going to play a weaker lineup. It's going to be a big sort of poker game, essentially, between the managers for who's sort of formation, how we're going to match up, who starts. So they played. So obviously they played Man United and lost. Then they've got us on the 23rd, and then they play against Sporting in the Champions League on the 26th. So 3 days later. So they've got to be careful with their squad rotation.
Indeed. Yeah.
So that might help us. That might work in our favour. But I do expect us to have changes, definitely. Definitely for them as well.
Interesting. Cesare says, Paul, if you're doing the stats, does that mean you're getting names wrong to Alex? No, Alex still does the graphical stats and everything, mate. Yeah,
Eric,
just do the,
Dyer.
I think you'll find it's Dear.
Oh dear, sorry.
Listen, don't bloody start, right? The period. All right? Let's just get through a nice
Hugh Loris,
without the crap, right?
Harry Can.
No need for that this time of night.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Mary says, which is why I'm confident Newcastle will win this time around. King Hoddle, good evening to you. Of course, a very good viewer of the channel is King Hoddle, obviously a Spurs fan, but very welcome on this channel, and has watched us many times in the past, of course. Evening, I don't believe 5-1 will happen again. I bloody hope not.
Which 5-1? When we beat you 5-1, or when you beat us 5-1? Because
no, I think he means the 5-1 from last season, Alex. Let's just that 5-1 against them happened a while ago. Let's not get carried away. Up the A1 says, Mrs. Up the A1, what a great birthday present. TTR mug, wasn't expecting this, been wanting one for ages.
Oh, how lovely.
Stu says, our history took an absolute hammering during the FCB Mike Ashley years. It did. It destroyed the club's
But we're
soul.
back. We're coming back now.
Oh, we are. Yeah, the soul is now glowing again. It's glowing like Billy's angel halo. Ronald says, I nearly took myself out the chat there. Ronald says, my first ever away match was when the Toon took 15,000 to White Hart Lane in the 5th round of the FA Cup in 1987. Great day, despite getting beat 1-0 off a dodgy penalty. I remember that, actually. I was 11.
That was a good side.
What a crowd that was that we took, though. 15,000 fans. It was
very dangerous as well, by all accounts. Lots of, let's say, Hillsborough type.
Well, back then it was around the same time, wasn't it? Just
a couple of years before, but that Spurs end was notorious for that. I mean, I stood in that Spurs end. It's not nice, but I mean, that Spurs side, of course, went to the final and got beat by Coventry at Wembley. So that's Coventry's claim to fame. Only one.
Was that Keith Houchin with a diving header? That final,
it was.
Bloody hell, Paul.
I was cheering Coventry on that day, obviously because they were the underdogs. It was incredible. What a header that was! Flying. I just remember that diving header from that game. It was incredible. Mike says Spurs might suit our game now. They technically play deep, but if we win enough set pieces in dangerous areas, we are due a centre-back bullet header. Malk says, can't wait for Billy on TTR Friday. He's hilarious. Paul and Susan, you've got a great one there.
Indeed.
We know that. Of course we have. Total Spurs TV, good evening to you. Worst thing you can do is write us off and Conte off. I get you confident, but don't let that one shit show game sway your prediction. You're still coming to us, and we're still dangerous when on it. Hey, listen.
Who's hang on. Whoa. Yeah. Who's saying that we're overconfident? Who's being overconfident? I've even said that, I'm not going to be super ridiculous score predictions this week like I normally do. We've got to respect them.
No, I think there is a lot of fans, certainly on socials, and that getting a little bit carried away thinking that we can beat anybody. But
there's a lot of people not watching Spurs as well. They're not. Yeah. They're on 23 points. They've still got two of the best strikers in the whole league, if not the world.
Look, but if anything, the fact that they're where they are and they still haven't played their best football is probably, a credit to them, really, when because if you're not playing well and you're still winning, that's a sign of a good side as far as I'm concerned. So, no, of course, we're not writing them off. And the fact that they've got, Son, who I would take Son over Kane any day of the week. Me, I
have
love
in my
Son.
FPL.
Yeah, I think he's a fabulous footballer, and his attitude is correct. And he's just, was it last season? I can't remember who it was against. He got the ball in his own half, and he literally took everybody on and scored. Was it Villa? I can't remember, but it was a wonderful goal. I just think he offers so much, and I would love Son at Newcastle.
He's got the right work ethic. There's some
Absolutely.
cracking videos out on the internet of him when he was a bit younger with his dad, training with his dad, because his dad coached him. And there's some really interesting videos of just how hard he drilled and was just doing like 1-2 touches, 500 reps, and then into the gym and then back out in the garden. This was all private work away from training. They used to put in so many hours. And it's testament to how good he is now, to be fair.
But they have gone on to say, that being said, it should be a good game and cracking show. Thank you very much. Of course,
It'll definitely be a good game.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Mind you, who's the referee, though? Depends who the ref is.
Glenn Hoddle.
King Hoddle says Kulusevski is a major loss for us. He's an exceptionally clever footballer. He's
only doubtful for this game.
Sorry?
Kulusevski's doubtful and Richarlison is out. That's what it says on SofaScore.
Conte said just now on the press conference before we started.
They're out.
He said he's definitely out.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
They're not. Yeah, both of them. They'll be a big
Jared
miss.
Gillett is the.
Oh, not Gillett.
Bloody hell, mate.
Oh, it's the Aussie.
Who's on VAR?
Yeah. I can't.
Got to be
see
Mike
that
Dean.
right now.
It's got to be Mike Dean.
I'm having a look now.
Oh dear. Alan says, for me, if we can keep Son quiet, we'll come out on top. He's a bigger worry than the Kane Toad. Yeah, look, I think Son is just a wonderful footballer. Total Spurs TV says we will play a 3-5-2 due to Kulusevski and Richarlison missing.
Yeah, they put Son and Kane up front and then pack the midfield a bit more.
Yeah. Andy says, I lived next to White Hart Lane for 2 years, same time as Harry Enfield's Loads of Money character. The abuse they hurled at us, supposed Dole Wallers.
Loads of money.
Yeah.
Stuart Atwell's on VAR.
Oh, marvellous. The Toon Review sponsored by Pepsi Max.
Yes.
Billy, no, we want a sponsorship of Pepsi, mate. So you can take your Coca-Cola and shove that up your backside.
How about fly spray? That works.
Billy, I wouldn't like the taste of that, mate. I wouldn't try that. Brendan says, I'm happy to help the channel. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan.
Really do appreciate that, buddy. Good evening, guys. Another night with the Fantastic Four and well enjoying your company as always. Crack a bunch from Belfast. Thank you very much, buddy. The Toon Review sponsored by Pepsi. Hope there are Toon Review colas in the merch soon. Jesus. Mary says, but eventually there comes that point where a little assistance always comes in hand. I've no idea what she's talking about.
I don't know. It could be anything on Friday night.
Yeah. Well, indeed. That's what worries me. Chris Murray says, I think 1-1 end of the first, and then it finishes 3-2 to the Toon. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I don't. I really don't.
We have games where we struggle to fire, and Tottenham are quite defensive. So
yes.
You got your graphics there, Alex?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, yes, Sven Botman's made the provisional squad for the Dutch World Cup side.
Oh, brilliant.
Get it
no, we don't want him to go. We want him to be fit and play.
I know, but it's fantastic that he's even in the provisional squad. You know what I mean? He's obviously been recognised, and that's fantastic for us.
It
as
depends
a football club as well.
If Van Gaal's named a ridiculous 55-man provisional squad like Southgate's done for our stupid team.
Well,
55.
Listen,
and still the same idiots on it and all. Just saying.
Yeah, but look, the bottom line is he's been recognised and he's in the provisional squad. You know, so we're obviously. So Newcastle United again being recognised, and Sven deserves it because he's just awesome. Right, there you go, Alex.
Yeah. So we'll look at Tottenham first. Very samey, very Conte, wing backs. The changes, as a couple of the viewers have already said from the Spurs channels, Kulusevski's out. They've got a lot of forwards missing, so they've reverted to a 3 in midfield, 2 up front with a Kane and Son. Shoehorning, well, it's not shoehorning, it is his position. Putting Basuma in as well. Højbjerg and Bentancur were very annoying against us last season. Very, very talented in midfield.
Well, for me, Højbjerg is one of the most underrated midfielders in the Premier League. I think he's a fantastic footballer, and his work rate is just incredible. But he can also play. You know, he can win the ball, but he can play the ball as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know Spurs fans are very, very well. I don't know if they're very happy, but I mean, they're doing well in the league. They're in the Champions League. They qualified for the Champions League with Conte, so something's obviously going right. But I think this team is crying out for a 4-3-3. I don't think they've got the defenders to do that necessarily. I know they've got a few very competent defenders, but with the quality in midfield and up front, if you gave Tottenham our defence, they would be so good. They don't have that. They are very good defenders. They just play better in a different system. So Dyer's obviously a lot better in a back three than he is in a flat back four, than he has been in midfield. So we do have to respect them. Our squad, our lineup, I've just thrown a bunch of people on. I put Willock and Longstaff because we were unsure about Joe Linton. So we'll do predictions later on for them. If we have a look at Spurs in the FOT mob, so we've got interesting ratings. So the whole squad rating, they're in 4th. Goals per match, they're in 4th. So they are scoring. 2 goals per match is nice and high. Goals conceded, they're in 6th. Obviously, there's us in 1st. Look, lovely to see. Expected goals in 5th. Clean sheets in 3rd. They're in the top 4 or 5 for most of these important statistics. You know, they are doing the business in the parts of the stats that matter. Average possession is down, but it's the style of play. 48% possession. We are considerably higher than that. We're over 50% for the first time in many years, which is lovely. Shots on target as well is in 4th place. So, yeah, we won't look at too much of them, but they're ticking all the right boxes for team statistics. They should be where they are. They're definitely at least a top 6 team, which is why they're sat in 4th on a considerable amount of points. So this is the predicted lineup for them. They're predicting that Clement Langley is going to come in, or Longley, however we say his name.
Lenglet.
Come in. Lenglet, yeah.
Clement
Lenglet.
Dear God.
You guys.
So yeah, they've got some versatility here with Ryan Sessegnon, with Emerson Royale that could come in. So the wing backs and the back line is interchangeable, but the midfield is very likely going to be Bentancur, Bissouma, Højbjerg, and then Kane and Heung-min Son up front. And we've just got to be very respectful of them. They are at home. They're a good side. And we have injuries. Interestingly enough, I hadn't seen this. SofaScore are predicting Ryan Fraser to start. Interesting.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, look,
so they're going for a midfield of Willock, Bruno, and Longstaff with Fraser as the left wing, with an unchanged back line. So that's what they think we're going to play, which is rather curious. But if we go down and have a little look, you can see that Tottenham. There we go. This is the fixtures that I was on about. So they lost to Man United 2-0. So they'll be either demoralised or ready to bounce back. Hopefully, demoralised. Fingers crossed. But they do have that game against Sporting on the 26th, late kickoff. But even so, that's a lot of fixtures. What's that? 9 days? 3 games in 9 days. So you could argue that they might have a lot more rotation than we think, because it depends what Conte's is gonna value, whether he's going to value the Sporting game or the Premier League game. We'll have to wait and see. But short and sweet for graphics tonight. That's.
I'll tell you something as well, guys. I don't know whether you've noticed the pictures of John Joe Shelby on
he's so lean.
Training. He's lost
so
loads of weight.
He looks ill. Well, I don't know if he looks lean or ill. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which side of the line it's on.
I wouldn't say ill, Alex. I think that's a little. I mean,
it's very not. Well, it's the same as fitness athletes. He's got the cheeks have gone in a little bit, and he's gone very. He's very lean. I bet he's got more abs than Callum Wilson has now.
Well, here he is. This is a picture from training earlier on. This is John Joe now.
Yeah,
I'm getting REM out of it, to be honest.
That's me in the corner.
He looks like him a bit, doesn't he?
That's me in this
Look,
bar.
he looks. I tell you what, he's lean, he's fit, he's mean, he's ready to go.
Might see some agility from John Joe Shelby. That'll be a first.
He's obviously put a lot of work in getting back.
I'm
to
excited
fitness.
to see him, mate. I'm excited.
I am as well. I think we have missed him. I don't care what anybody says. You know, a guy that
hopefully we'll see this again. Ooh.
Yeah, but a guy that can pass the ball like that, we will, of course, miss somebody like that. And
we've not actually seen his passing range in a team that's also got Botman. So this will be a new first.
Yeah. Dangle says, good evening, Toon Review family. Just to put a positive spin on our current injuries, the marked improvement Eddie Howe and his team have made to those filling in will help us move them on in January. 2-0 to us. I don't think he moved many on, to be honest. And he has come out and said that we're not expected to spend big in the transfer window. But I think that's, he said that quite a few times before the last window as well. So let's just wait and see.
I don't think we'll go mental. I don't think we will. I think we're building up our commercial revenue now, so that's what we need to focus on. So maybe in the summer, I don't know.
Well, I think we've already got people in mind. I generally do.
I'd be surprised if we don't drop 40 on somebody at least.
Madison. But we'll see. Brian says, I'm not drinking Pepsi Max, but I'm drinking Frosty Jacks. It rhymes. Does that count? Absolutely, Brian. Absolutely. Spacebar says, Spurs TV, don't worry. Most of us here do respect Spurs. You're a very good side and have two ruthless finishes to be wary of. We know it's a difficult game, and hopefully we can give you a game. Absolutely. That's exactly how we are thinking. Just without a doubt. Looks like Alex has taken his care in the community duty seriously tonight, managing Paul with skillful linguistics as ever.
Yeah, because you need to be managed, Paul, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Well, whatever. All good, Space. Hope my message didn't come across as being dickish. No intention. Was just saying that due to United loss, rivals, etc., being going overboard. That'll
be the other big six whinging. We're not part of that
at all. Don't worry about that. There's no problem with that. Just we're happy to have you on the stream, mate. Don't you worry about that. Maybe
everyone's welcome.
Maybe the reverse fixture. You can come on here, and do the preview show with us for the St James's Park game. That would be great. Mary says, now, when you say clean sheets, does that mean the dirty tackles are taken out, even if VAR and the ref don't see them?
What?
If you've got dirty tackle, it's hard to keep a clean sheet, to be fair.
Yeah. Right. It's time for lineup predictions and score predictions, and then we can end this show and get it. I think Billy's revving up for TDR Friday already. Right, Billy, we'll start with you with just your team lineup first, please.
Yeah, Pope in goal, obviously. Trippier, captain. I think he'll stick the same back four in. I think Cher, Botman, and Byrne. I think he'll go Bruno, Longstaff, and Willock. And I think he'll go with, I'm going to say Murphy again. I think I'm going to give Murphy another go. It's basically changed for the night, basically, isn't it? Wilson and Amor.
Interesting. Total Spurs TV says, of course, mate, would love to. Yeah, that's brilliant. If you're on Twitter, mate, drop us a follow. Just go to the Toon Review, drop us a follow, and I'll follow you back, and then we'll get you on for the return fixture. That would be great. It's actually nice to interact with some decent opposition fans who actually want to talk about football rather than throwing abuse left, right, and centre. So it's really nice that. So, Doug from the Dugout channel, thank you very much for your £5 super chat, matey. That's very kind. Good evening, Paul, Danielle, Billy, and Alex. Miggy Almiron is trying to get a goal of the month contender. The guy's on fire. I fancy you to win 2-1. Well, we'll see. We will see. Right. Alex, what is your team prediction?
Nick Pope in goal, Trippier at right back, because we don't have any of the right backs. And then I think he's going to go Byrne and Botman, because I feel like you can continue to play them. I don't feel like they have to do as much running to rotate. I did originally think that Target might come in, but I don't think Byrne has to do enough running to warrant being rotated. I think he'll just go Byrne Botman. And then I think Lascelles will come in. Shah has just been battered and battered and battered. He's got to play Lascelles at some point, unless he's finally had enough of him and just won't unless he has to. But I think Lascelles will come in as part of the back three. I think Bruno will start, and then I think he'll go Willock and Longstaff because, even if Joelinton's been in training, I think he'll be benched. Willock he needs another start. He's fit, he's ready, he's come on as a sub the last few games. I think Longstaff will get another start. And then up front, I think he's going to go Anderson because he's referenced him specifically in interviews about he's close to a start.
Yeah, he did.
So if he's either referencing Crystal Palace in the Cup or Spurs, it's got to be one or the other. It's got to be one of them. So I think Anderson's going to start. I think it's away from home, not got the pressure of playing at St James's Park. He likes to typically give people their debuts and stuff away from home. I think he did that with Botman as well. And then Wilson and Miggy, I think will retain their place. A few people think that. I mean, we thought earlier on in the week that he might give Wood a start, but I just don't think he will. But I think we've got a lot more flexibility because of the 5 subs rule. I think he can just start Wilson and take him off after an hour if he needs to.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try and play as strong as he kind of can and then use his 5 subs wisely. And he used his 5 subs very wisely the other day. So, yeah.
Time will tell. Danielle?
I think he's going to go Trippier. I think he's going to go Bain, Botman, Target. I think Target's going to come in. I can't put the cells in. I just can't. Not against
Who's your
Tottenham.
goalkeeper?
Oh, Pope, obviously. I don't even need to say who he is.
We've got Karius on the bench.
No. I don't think Joe's going to make it. Big Joe. So I think it'll be Willock, Bruno and Longstaff. I don't see Fraser coming in. I don't see why Fraser would start. Apart from resting Murphy, I don't think Fraser brings a lot to the game. I really don't think he does. Over the past reviews, at least the last 2 weeks, I know the last game he got hacked all over, but the one before, I think only gave him a 5 or a 4, something like that. He didn't bring anything. So I think it's Murphy, Wilson and Miggy.
Okie doke. Brian Hicks, thank you very much for your $8.99 super chat, bud. Very kind. He's just said Toon win. Simple as that. My team, I'm going with Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier. Left back, I'm going with Dan Burn. I don't think he's going to change the centre backs. I think Cher and Botman will play. I think in midfield, I have a feeling Joe will miss out, so I'll go Willock, Longstaff, and Bruno. Up front, Miggy, Callum Wilson, and Elliot Anderson. I think that offers us. I just want to see Elliot given the game, just to see what he can do for the full 90 minutes. He's give Fraser an opportunity. Obviously, Murphy's had a chance. Now it's time to give young Elliot a chance. And like Alex said before, he is bigging him up in interviews and things like that. So I think there's a chance there. And finally, Billy, score prediction.
I feel it might be a tough afternoon for us. I'm going to say Spurs 2, Newcastle United 2.
Wow. Okay.
Can you imagine the tension? Oh.
I know. Alex?
I'm going to go 1-1 with a Callum Wilson penalty. And
Minute.
Well, he scored 96 minutes the other season, didn't he?
Callum Wilson penalty, and I think it will be like a scrappy Eric Dyer corner header or some nonsense.
Interesting.
It will be a scrappy game.
Total Spurs TV have gone with this is their predicted lineup: Lloris, Dyer, Romero, Longley, Sessegnon, Højbjerg, Bentancur, Royal, Basuma, Kane, and Son. It's not a bad lineup.
Yeah, my graphics lineup, by the way, was just the lineup from Spurs of their previous game. It wasn't predicted. They've obviously got Sessegnon and other players.
He's going for a shifty 2-1 win for Spurs. John's going for a 1-1. Chris Sutton has actually said reckons we'll win 2-1. Madness. Danielle?
I'm going Tottenham Hotspur 1, Newcastle United 2.
Ooh. Okay. And who's going to get the goals?
I think Willock's going to get one. Because he needs
it'd be nice to see Willock get one, to be honest.
In Wilson, because I think he needs one as well.
Yeah.
So,
fair enough. I'm going Tottenham 1, Newcastle 1. I think it's going to be one of those interesting games again. But look, I think Eddie Howe's main priority for this game is to try and come away with something, not a defeat. If we win the game, fantastic. If we take a point, that is just as fantastic for me, because it continues our unbeaten run and it continues the good feeling around the club, not losing again. So for me, it's we just go out there, play football, and just see what happens. But there you go, guys. That is the review show done and dusted. If you have enjoyed the show tonight, please do hit that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come and be part of this wonderful community here on the Toon Review, heading up to 15,000 subscribers. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload or go live. Of course, thank you very much to everybody that has super chatted tonight. Thank you for your company. We are back in literally 10, 15 minutes with TTR Friday. So if you want a really good laugh to start your weekend, have a bit of fun with us, come and join us in around 10, 15 minutes time. We kick off at 8 o'clock on TTR Friday. Thanks to the Mod Squad again. And we will see you all in a very short 15 or 10, 15 minutes. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Whether that's lasses.